one at that.
So I've always wanted to speak to you, Alan.
Yes,
So
fire away. You're on Radio Norwich Live right now.
right, brilliant. Now I would like to ask you about your. You go into the service station late at night.
Yes, the one just down from the Travel Tavern.
That's correct. Yes, and you go in and talk to the guy from Newcastle.
Yes, that's the one, the ex-military guy. Yes, very nice guy, very nice friend of mine.
Yeah, and it strikes me that he might not be as friendly to you as you are to him.
Well, as long as it's one way, it's going. At least it's going in one direction.
Well, that's right. There are the leather pant moments which can cover that up. I'd also like to talk about your PA.
Oh yes, Lynn. Wonderful Lynn.
Yeah, Lynn. Is she any good in bed?
Well, you'd have to speak to her significant other about that, because obviously we're in a professional relationship where she's writing things up, making me tea, putting on Black Beauty in the hotel room for me.
Right. So that's very pleasing to know. Now, as we know, you're not a big driver.
Well, I do take calls every now. Oh, drivers in cars.
Yeah.
All intellectual, like golf, like.
No. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the real Alan Partridge. Just to tell the crowd what's happening here. Yes, the real Alan Partridge has come on to do his evening show. Not co-present. Sorry, I'm now the little bitch in the corner, as it were.
Well, actually, Steve Coogan is one of my impressions. He's a character that I do.
That's correct. Right. You see, so Steve Coogan. Who's Steve Coogan? Who's that again? I've heard of him before. I think somewhere. I think I've read. Yeah, we've got good. Yeah, go on. I mean, at the end of the day, what's been said in the chat here? Ben, you are a star now. This alter egos that you have, this Ben sort of character. Has that
Not
been Yeah, when did you come out of the closet and become a Ben?
I don't think there was a metaphorical closet. It was more of a side unit, a bedside cabinet.
It really is just a bottomless pit, isn't it?
It's a cavern. It's a cavern, EA, honestly.
Yeah, it never actually. There's no. It's like falling through the centre of the earth, isn't it? What happened?
I don't know. It was just a whirlwind, really. I had a TV show, had a radio show, didn't have a TV show or a radio show, gave me one back. The producer died, got another show.
Surely, though, it's a human being. It must have a bell somewhere.
It has been rumoured, but you know what the BBC is like.
Well, yes, I've recently done some work for them. They haven't yet collected that bit of work. But cool. It was my latest performance. My latest reporting performance was came from the war zone Basildon.
Well, the BBC aren't renowned for respecting people's rights or their privates either. I mean their privacy. I don't know the privates. That would be a Jimmy Savile reference.
Well, actually, Rolf Harris did actually make an appearance in the latest upload. So
that is in there. Do again, was he?
Yeah, he was tying kangaroos down, and with two little boys, it was very troubling to see. But
all the warning signs were there, weren't they?
Well, they were with Jimmy Savile. To be fair, look at his clothes.
It was all facilitated by like-minded people.
Well, yeah, a good friend of the BBC, spiritual home of Jimmy Savile. Yeah, and a good friend of course, our good king and his lovely wife.
Yes.
Well, the human side.
I probably won't comment on that sort of thing.
No, yeah, I do mean the human side of his lovely wife, not the horse side.
Because there was humanity there, actually.
I've never really known much about horses. It
looks like one.
Yeah. Well, she looks like one. It's not surprising. Her great grandfather, actually, because we were talking about heritage and that, and how I'm not really sure about the mathematics there, because if you have two parents, 4 grandparents, eight great grandparents, and 16 and so forth. Like you've only got to go few forwards, haven't you? Back, sorry, and then you would have trillion, literally trillion. The number would be trillions, wouldn't it? And yet there've only been
German names by then. I would expect.
Well, there's only been so many humans on the Earth, hasn't there? Like if you were to say trillion, I mean, I don't know what the total figure would be, but if there's like 8 billion presently, and that's 10% of everyone who's ever lived, then we're looking at about 1 trillion people who have ever lived. But
and we're looking at really, we should have some genocide to like bring it down a bit again.
Well, yes, but then that makes everybody in the world only sort of like 6 or 7 generations away from being directly related. Isn't that weird? You know, all this.
We'll find it a lot easier to swim if we got webbed feet.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking of why haven't we got wings? I've come back. I'm coming back with a seagull.
Shoes would be a lot better if we got less toes.
Yeah, they would. They would, as again, I just refer my previous comments to seagulls because, I mean, they are perfect. They can swim, they can jump, they can run, fly, hop. You see them around in McDonald's. You see them out in the Arctic. Talking of which, the South Pole has no known time zone or no acknowledged time zone. What does that mean? I sort of collected that as a fact earlier on in the research for the show. And I don't know what it means. What does that mean? Like the South Pole has no time zone.
Doesn't time stand still there? Is it like another
universe? I don't know. It's where all the elves live.
Apparently, there's a big wall, ice wall there anyway that you can't get past because the Earth's flat. Apparently.
No, the Earth's been flat. Who said that?
Loads of people.
But what I have heard though is from Field Marshal. No, not Field Marshal. Right, Field Montgomery. I don't know what he was. Baron von. No, he wasn't a baron. He wasn't German. He was someone high up. He was someone high up in the army, right? Bombardier general, someone, right? Yeah. And he went, in 1928, he went up to the top of the Earth and on an expedition, right? And when he got there, well, his report is uncanny because he said when he got there, there was a massive chasm, meaning that the Earth is actually neither flat or round, but more donut shaped. Apparently there were forests, like forests and stuff like that, and other things. And this was a squadron of soldiers as well who went. Mm-hmm. Because it was an expedition. So obviously that information, I believe, has been brushed under the carpet. It's a conspiracy. They are all shape-shifting lizards. And that's why I can only reiterate some of the facts that I've said before for the audience, right? It stops the water from flowing out. Be right. There is no such thing as time. That's correct. Time is man-made measure. One lost civilization has been found in the ice. That I wouldn't believe that fact because Jason, what do you mean? I lost a civilization. Oh, right, that's true. Equals the sun. It's what's that? Sorry, we're not here to scare anyone. Okay, Brawlbox, hello. It was Bird. That's right. The person who went on that expedition his name was Bird. That's right. That's correct. I don't believe he was a bird, but so let's go on to these facts. So some of the people would have heard the facts that I said the other day, right? And Alan, I would like you to show us your knowledge here about how many times can a flea jump the height of its own body? For example, I'm just wondering, this is a test more. This is a test more than anything else, because I'm just wondering if anyone has remembered how many times higher than its own height can a flea jump? Just a wild stab in the dark guess. Admiral Byrd, she was
30 to 40 times its own.
I can say it's more than that, but in the order of magnitude more than that.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? See, I've picked out these facts for their surprising content.
Must have some rather curvy calves.
Does anybody want to? Yeah. Does anybody want to have a guess at that? We've got 100 from Mystical, 177 from Steppers, which is, I can say it's higher than that. It's 1,700 from Joseph Benoit, but it's not that much. It's not that many.
It's good, but it's not red.
I'll tell you what, right? Now, the interesting thing is if we got enough guesses, right, added them all up, right, and then put them out, you've had the right answer after, I think it's 32 people. If 32 people put their estimates together, you'll always get the right answer. Always get the right answer. What do you think about that? Yep. Right, somebody said 450. That Squirrel Sniper said 450, and that is over. Paul Jackson said 300, so 300 is closest. According to this fact list, it's 350 times their own body height. Wow. But how long do you think your circulatory system is? Oh, I actually said it there, circulatory. Yeah, how long would you say that your body's circulatory system is? Just a stab in the dark guess.
I'd say about 22 miles.
About 22 miles. I can say now that, again, in the order of magnitude, it is more. Even more so in this instance. Where did you get that voice from?
You could lay them all out straight and they'd go right around the world.
Yeah, where did you get that voice from? How did you do that? It's amazing. Yeah. Orvyll the Duck, ladies and gentlemen, is also in.
I wish I could fly right up to the sky, but I can't.
Right. So there we go. We've got a star-studded show tonight. We've had Alan, are you still there?
Just in the shadows, just sipping a martini.
Yep. So we've got Alan. We've got Alan on the phone. We've got Orvyll in the studio. Orvyll, hello.
You're gonna kill me.
How are you doing that? How are you doing that sound effects?
I don't know, but you can't do it for long.
Ah, gotcha. Is it what? Is it actually using the? No, that's what I was wondering. Was it actually using helium? Helium's weird, isn't it? No. Helium is really weird.
I've got some helium. We just had a birthday party a few weeks ago.
Right. Now, that's really good, mate. I'll tell you what, because that's actually, it's quite, that in itself sounds really good. That did sound really Orvyll. But if helium weighs less than air, right? That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
How much does air weigh?
Well, it's more to do with the temperature of it and how it expands as a gas. Because it struggles to take up the same space, I believe, something like that, and to do with the temperature, thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics is hot always goes to cold.
What? So there is no weight involved then?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that.
It's weird, isn't it? I'm wondering now. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? I don't think it's an area of science that has really been explored. How much does air weigh? It must weigh something, even if it's so fractional that we can't record it or whatever. That's something which I've not heard much about.
You can compress it and everything.
I mean, it's got to be important, isn't it? That's right, because if you can compress the air that you're traveling through, you'll have no resistance, and therefore you'd need no power in order to move forward, would you? If there's no resistance. Yeah. Have you seen that thing with the magnet? The magnet, it goes round and round and round, right? Yeah. And it will never, ever stop. It will never stop. That's right, because there's no resistance. It's just going round and round and round forever. It would never stop. That's there's something in that, isn't there? There's something. I'll tell you what. If you can put that in a box and then press a button, right, that will get you around the universe. I'm telling you.
That would be a way of free energy.
Yeah, I can't tell you anymore, I'm afraid. I've seen some amazing things though with magnets. That electromagnetism, but there's no money in it or something because they don't like it, do they? Still, we move on again. Right, so we do have fresh facts. That was just a little sort of a refresher, as it were. So the fresh facts are now going to be coming up. Now, I know this might seem a funny question to ask, right? Because, first of all, you've got to remember but you know what orange is, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, go on. What is
Orange
orange?
as a colour or a fruit?
Incorrect. Well, yeah, you said, or the fruit. It is actually a fruit. An orange is a fruit. It's not a colour. Now, is that so? The reason that they used the shade of red that is called orange, right? Because orange used to be called red. Hence, like you have the red fox or the red deer, and so the orange used to be red. It used to be called red, but then they thought, well, hang on, it does look a bit different. So we'll call it orange because it's the same colour as an orange. But guess what? This is the question: what colour is an orange?
Red and yellow.
What colour is an orange? Right, there you go. Someone said to me, I'm fed up with all these complex questions, so I was asking about what colour the sky is, and I would be interested to know what colour the sky is at the moment over the top of you, because I've got sort of we've got stripes of cloud tonight. It's not as clear as it was. A lovely new moon. I can just see that behind the clouds. Lovely new moon. That looks like, really nice. And sort of bluish. Simple question, isn't it? Simple question. What colour's the sky? There's another one. What colour orange? Well, I can tell you. The answer is green. Oranges are green. Isn't that ironic? They actually named a colour after it. Yeah, and it's not. The actual fruits are green. So there you go. Carrots aren't orange either. Carrots were deliberately inbred or misbred, crossbred or whatever with another vegetable in order to celebrate the William of Orange, his invasion of this country.
Madness.
There you go.
So it's the same with tomatoes, isn't it? Tomatoes are considered a fruit,
right? And really, they're no, they're not. Yes, they are a fruit, aren't they? I suppose because the seeds are inside. No, I think they are probably. Yeah, because a nut is a nut, right? Because it's always in one lump. It's not split in two. Otherwise, it would then be a legume or a pea, even. This is what baked beans in tomato sauce always make me laugh because they are neither baked beans or in tomato sauce. But
nice.
Russia has more surface area than Pluto. It's there's no question in that. It's just you asked this on the other day. I did ask this on the other day because that they were sort of refreshers. Have you ever burnt a flea with a lighter? Druss, are you in World War One? Are you in Flanders as we speak? What do you mean? What do you mean? Have you ever burnt? Have you ever done that, Alan? Have you ever burnt a flea with a?
I have a ration book from World War One.
Well, yeah, right, a ration book. Have you really? I was just thinking, have you ever burnt a flea with a lighter? And I know that you have spent quite a long time in Hammersmith.
Well, I began a relationship with a magnifying glass and lizards' tails with my time in Spain. They grow back apparently.
Well, there you go. It's our privilege to have. There you go, the real Alan on the line. So we'll be calling him into what he thinks about each of these facts. Going to work. We're talking about the war, right? Going to work is more dangerous than going to war. Statistically,
in the war.
Yeah. Say again.
Especially if your job is a soldier.
Yes.
You're both fronts. Yeah, you're fucked on both fronts. You mess about.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that you can class active service. It's service, isn't it? More than work. It's called service, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like your service revolver.
Right. Okay. Well, they're always swinging around on ropes and stuff. I think, oh my God, I'm falling behind on my. He's checking our memory. That's right. I checked the memories. Orvyll, Orvyll has been asked for, has been requested. You know,
I
But I'm not.
as soon as I said it hurt my throat.
Orville's shy. He's very shy.
He's got
Did you hear?
laryngitis.
There he is. Thank you, Orvyll. That will make.
I love doing this for me.
Yeah. Have you seen Keith recently?
I went and laid down some flowers for him last week.
I thought he worked in Sainsbury's.
when he was alive, yeah. Didn't he die like 2 years ago?
I saw him outside. I saw him outside like Stupid Con Club, collecting cigarette butts.
Sorry, Keith. Must have been a different one.
Yeah, you still wish you could fly. And if so, would you go right high into the sky?
I did plenty of times with Keith's size 9.
Well, you can't. All right. So just forget it. You're too fat. Yeah, you're too fat, and you're made of flippings. You're made of Velcro.
And we're in a nappy.
In a nappy. Yeah. What the hell? What did they think? I've got an idea, fellas. I've got an idea. What's that? We need some money, man. What? I've got an idea. What's that? That thing you got in the back of the van. Oh, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. Go on then, Keith. Go on next. What's next? What's his next idea gonna be? Go on, Keith. Yeah, the monkey. Oh God. Right, okay. So we're moving on. Yeah, there is no specific time zone on the South Pole. That was the next one. Right. Now I don't know if you're one of these moon conspiracists, one of these people who think that we actually went to the moon. But I would like to point out that the TI 83 calculator, which is one of the better brands from 1983, has 6 times more processing power than the computer they claimed took them out of the Van Allen belt and 1 million miles away to the moon. So it actually takes 1.3 seconds even for the light of the moon to reach your eyeball. And they went all that way on a computer that was less than a TI-83 calculator. Very random fact, that one. Yeah, it's true. It's true. They went to the moon. It's true.
Where do you find this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the next impossible fact. In 1969, 3 men went to the moon, started playing golf. Right. Human. Right. Oh, right. Now, in the human lifetime, you will shed 40 pounds. 40 pounds. Now, think of that, of skin. And, yep. You change your skin every month. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Mine still looks terrible.
Yeah, you change your entire body every 10 years, cell by cell.
If only.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Why do we age then? Because if it's replacing the cells, it's replacing them with just as crap one.
Right. Well, my answer to that would be to do with why indeed. Why would you think that?
Don't start asking why. It's a never-ending story, that one.
No, it started when I was a kid, and I've never stopped.
You never will.
Why? Why? Oh, why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because if you say why again, then Daddy's the winner. What? Right. So
Are you ever going to get to the end of the alphabet?
Yeah. God. Oh my God. They don't use it responsibly. A bit like Ken. 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 I was just thinking about Ken. Somebody said, how many times did I say Ken in that video? And I'd like to know, but I started counting and then ended up laughing too much.
Did you actually do it?
What?
Watch the video back to try and count them.
I did notice that I did say Ken more than twice. Yeah,
that made me chuckle quite a lot.
Yes, it was. That's good, that one. I mean, it looks what it must look like to the rest of the world, God knows. But
How's Barbie, Ken?
I was going to say Deirdre as well. I don't know where there was a few little things that I would have chucked in, just completely out of left field. Talking of which, left field, left-handed people, right? 2,500 people die every year or are killed every year. Left-handed people using implements and so forth designed for right-handed people. So I think left-handed people should be, pity. They're already freaks.
That is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I see someone writing, freaks me out when I see someone writing.
Yeah, I know. It's not natural.
No,
I'm left-handed. I'm left-handed. I write upside down and everything because it's not pre-suited. It would be pre-suited for some of the Coptic languages and stuff like that are writing from right to left. But writing from left to right, it doesn't really work. You have to write upside down. It's awful.
Here's an interesting one. While we were on the left-handed thing, I noticed something a little while ago. When you eat your cutlery, you put your fork in your left hand and your knife in your right, right?
Right.
And then imagine you're getting towards the end of the meal when you haven't got to cut anything else, so you put your knife down. Do you change over and put your fork into your right hand and then use your right hand to scoop everything up?
I'm just trying to think. Right, hang on. You hold the knife in your right hand, yeah?
Correct, yeah. And the fork in my left. If I'm having to cut stuff up and using both implements, but if I don't need the knife anymore, I'll put that down and I'll put the fork in my right hand and use that.
I don't know. I've never recorded the incidents because at first. I'm probably not the best to realise it. Yeah, I'm probably not the best person to ask because I probably know what I'm like. I'm gonna be swapping round, knives on the right, but I probably would swap round. I wouldn't be surprised. Now somebody mentioned the starfish the other day about that if you cut a starfish's leg off, right, it can regrow the leg. Now that's an interesting little fact, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact is, it is far more interesting than that, right? Because yes, it's true to say that if you cut a starfish's leg off, it will regrow. The shocking thing is, if you cut a leg off, it can regrow an entire starfish.
If you so basically, if you chop a leg off of it, the leg's going to turn into another starfish.
Yeah, basically, if you cut a starfish in half, then two starfishes will that's how they do it. They're like the human. They're like the Earth Klingon. That's yeah. They're the way they do it is by tearing themselves in half. Have you not seen SpongeBob? Have you not seen SpongeBob SquarePants?
I know SpongeBob. I know that is, but I haven't watched it per se.
You should watch it because it does have factual a factual basis to all the sea creatures that are there. Do you know why? Do you know what Bikini is? Yeah,
Bikini Bottom, isn't it?
Right, Bikini Bottom is the place it's the fictional place of SpongeBob, right? But do you know what Bikini is?
Bikini. I know what a bikini is. Yeah.
Right. No, because the bikini, which you're thinking of, the swimsuit, right, was named after the atoll, the Bikini Atoll, right, where they conducted the nuclear tests that blew the islands into two sections, right, and polluted the entire area, making mutant animals such as SpongeBob SquarePants and the world's Bikini Bottom, as it were, because that's where they did the nuclear tests. So what I'm saying is, right, that's true. And what I'm saying is there are a gazillion facts to SpongeBob like that exist that you think, oh my goodness, I didn't realise that was actually true. So yeah, in SpongeBob, his friend Patrick does often tear himself in half. So if you to do that, the end product, I'm not sure it will work in the human world, but if you do it in the starfish world, you create 2 starfishes. Isn't that incredible?
I could
Isn't
have
that
done.
amazing?
I could have done with doing that today. I could have done with there being 2 of me for my job today.
Really, what happened?
I was digging in the garden, relocating trees. I don't often do garden work. I'm a multi-trade builder, but I was moving trees for someone today. Just an extra job for someone, and I really wish I hadn't agreed to do.
It's the roots that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the roots. Deep-seated rooted decay. That's what it is.
You know what you
And
should have done? Yeah, no, you should have just gone and got a chain and just pulled it out with the car, because it comes out really easy.
Yeah, it's at the back garden and you can't get to it or anything. All the gardens are all backed onto each other.
Oh God, nightmare. Well, just let the tree grow then. It's better for the world.
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't have enough to cut many of the roots, to be honest. It was all right
So,
in the end.
it would be interesting. I've got an interesting question for you then. Tomorrow, right? The builder's going to wake up and want to build, isn't they? And at some point, there's going to be a point. Surely, is there ever going to be a point in the average builder's mind? Do you think, where they're going to get to a stage where they go, "There you go, job done, lads. Right, come on, move on. Right, this next job." What do you reckon?
It doesn't happen with many of them.
What? But they keep on building. So the intention is in the building trade just to concrete over the entire place until there's nowhere else to build. Then what? And then what? What's going to happen then?
Just leave them wanting more, didn't you?
Mate, I've been out in the countryside, and they're building cities in the countryside. They're building a 3rd one. There's 3 of them. There's 2 of them there at the moment, and they're just like hidden cities, but empty. Loads of facilities. Yeah, loads of facilities. A complete separate civilization, a complete separate society to our own. Plopped up in the Suffolk countryside. Yeah, it sounds unbelievable, but it is on the channel. I went there with Law and Audits.
In the water, though, isn't it?
What's that?
It's better than putting them all on a boat on the channel or in a Holiday Inn.
Well, I don't even think this one's for human beings. There's no humans. There was no humans there.
Which way did their eyelids go? Did they blink their eyes left or up and down, left or right?
Well, they were Chinese, so I couldn't tell.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So right. So anyway, we're moving on to the next fact. And it was Facebook. You know the Facebook like button? That was originally going to be called the awesome button. But they went for like, as it was short. Yeah, that's just a little, see?
The awesome button.
It was going to be called the awesome button, yeah.
It probably sounded better to them, though. We're going to have an awesome button.
Yeah, but there you go. Do you know the Google app, Excite? Have you ever heard of the Google app Excite? I personally haven't heard of it.
No, it rings a bell. I think I might have.
It rings a bell, yeah, it rings a bell. But it needless to say, the platform itself would be worth trillions and trillions. In 1999, Google wanted to sell that for less than £1 million, and were turned down.
Crazy.
Because so Google and certainly and YouTube as well have persevered in the charts and are dominating the internet market.
We need to master this time travel malarkey, don't we? And then we'll be able to sort it all out.
It's not difficult, I don't think, because like, what is it? It's about 400,000 miles per second or whatever, right? But that's not very fast. A million miles per second is going to be, that's fast. 10 million.
Been around on the spot until you got fast enough to, I don't know, 88 miles an hour or something.
I don't personally. I don't think that artificial intelligence will take long to be able to work that out. I mean,
They're scary as hell. Them AI bots, mate.
well, it's just the way of it, isn't it? What do you expect? What did you? I mean, I when I first saw the Terminator, that film, The Terminator, I thought, well, that's going to happen. that will happen. Of course it will. Of course it will. There's no regulation on it, is it? They're encouraging it. They're going, yeah, go on, keep doing it. They put two of them together recently, and they started talking in a language that we couldn't understand. They had to close it down. So, right, more facts. Right, ants weigh more than humans. Ants weigh more than humans.
When there's
Well,
7 trillion of them.
Yeah, it's the total amount. The total amount of ants on the Earth weigh more and vastly more than the total human weight. The Earth is younger than the Moon. Carbon dating testing. The Moon is older. It's a lot older than the Earth.
It looks it though.
It does look it, doesn't it? It's had the right battery. And what's interesting as well is the pictures that came back from that Chinese mission is the backside of it looks to be very smooth in comparison. So what happened there? Because one side the side that's facing us has been absolutely hammered, isn't it? Where like someone's been using it as a target thing or something, whereas the other side it's very smooth. It's relatively smooth, not so many impacts. Yeah. And it's been flattened on the side that we're looking at, meaning that, talking of flat Earth, like you're looking at a flat surface on the Moon where it's been completely pounded. What the hell has happened there?
It looks like, well, if you think about it, like the meteors, there's been so many meteors that come down, and if we've got an atmosphere that they mostly burn up in.
Yeah.
Then the moon hasn't really got that, has it?
I suppose, but why is there so many on one side? Yeah, there's a lot more on. Yeah, it's a really complex thing, isn't it? The Moon, it's really complex. Yeah. I know. Definitely. When you look at it, I've looked at it through a thing, and it's really, really complex. There's so much going on there, like sort of different. Surfaces and it's really complex. Anyway, because like if you look in my thumbnail picture, right, there's actually a like that the audit in Basildon, right? Look, that's where it's taken from. So when you're looking in the eyeball there, you can see the building and the little sort of palm tree. That wasn't a palm tree, was it? It was like a I don't know, rubber tree or something. One of them Australian. I think that place had been made to look like Ramsay Street or something. So it did look Australian, didn't it?
It was a bit odd, wasn't it? But
yeah, it did look like. Honestly, you couldn't send off for this stuff. You imagine the cost, the setting, the lighting. Getting the actors in. Everything, and it's all there. It was all there for me. They came out. It's these people. I'm told these people don't like me, so why would they give me such meat and drink?
I can see some other people giving that Ken some stick.
I bet he went home with a date, didn't he? But this is
walking around Asda, and he's got this Ken.
See, the thing is, that's not me at all. I don't, I shouldn't act like that. Really, normally, I wouldn't act like that. But it was a subconscious thing because she came out and went, Ken, no, I don't. And then because I suddenly had that little bullet, that little bargaining tool, I offered it. Gone again and again, didn't I, Ken? Didn't I? Tell me I didn't. I nearly choked on my Weetabix this morning watching that.
Yeah, I love it.
I sort of wish I'd said it more, because there was some silent moments there.
That could have been filled with Kens.
Again.
But maybe a Chewbacca.
Oh no, I can't do Chewbacca on an audit. I couldn't. I mean, come on. I mean,
repeating
that
his name for about 40 minutes.
yeah,
I can't
know
give him
that looks.
Chewbacca as well.
Yeah, I know that did look completely crazy, but all the rest of it is all, you know, done in total. It's total seriousness. You know, it's not. There's no joke. It's all jokes aside, but it did look completely a bit insane, didn't it? I don't know what people will think of that. But anyway,
I think I know where auditing's going. I think it's going to evolve.
oh Christ! Honestly, it's evolved every single day that I've ever known it. It's evolved every single day.
You know Charlie Veitch.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I'm not know him. I mean know him, but I mean like you know like Charlie Veitch. There was an American one. I can't remember what one it was now. But there's like a really like a famous one in America, and he done a video on Charlie Veitch.
Right. Good.
But it gave me an idea. It made me think that maybe, you know, you're going to start getting American auditors in England and English in America.
Yeah, there have been a couple. I have seen a couple, and like a couple of them have approached me and said, "Is it all right if we use your videos because you know, we want to do sort of like complain?" Yeah, crack on. Yeah, help yourself.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea because, like, you know, that's a good way to build the market as well. But because yes, it will go mainstream eventually. It will.
Yeah, it's getting recognised more and more.
Well, it is. It's what people want to see. You know, that Chris Miles was saying it. It's going, oh, I was watching one of DJ Audits, like, sort of videos, right? And he's going, oh, it's stupid, you know, like, stop pestering people and everything like that. And then at the end, he went, and I sort of realised I've been sitting here watching this for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it's what people want to see. Yeah.
Because you something twigs in their head and they're like, oh, really? There's me been thinking that you need permission to do all that sort of shit.
Yeah. Well,
you
there you go.
Drones as well. The idiots, even the police saying, "No, you can't put a drone over the police station." It's like, what are you talking about? Of course, you can put a drone over it. Go and find out the information and come back and talk to me. Unreal.
Unbelievable.
It's really funny actually to see what to watch. What is it? Is it his dad, PJ? No, there's PJ, and he goes around with the other fellow with the dreadlocks.
Yeah, that's PJ. Yeah,
that's PJ, isn't it?
Yeah,
the drone, and he's got. Is it his dad that does it as well?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're related and all that.
I don't know. They go on a few together, but they're kind of similar in their approaches anyway, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yes, no, not really. I don't think actually, sort of, you know, PJ is very much laid back, isn't it? But they're both very knowledgeable on the industrial scene. Yeah,
relaxed. I find them relaxed to auditors compared to other ones.
He's very laid back. Yeah, and but DJ is like, well, it's genius, isn't he?
Have you met many auditors?
Not really, no. Law and Audits.
I'd like to meet Audit in Britain.
Yeah, Laughing Auditor bumped into him in London apparently recently.
Oh, aye, he's quite a funny one too, hasn't he? He gets all right at it. He got nicked, didn't he? He got nicked, didn't he, with the trans thing in London.
Did he get nicked?
I think he got nicked. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Well,
or it tipped up anyway.
He got you know, CBN, or not CBN, but GBN or something like that, and you know, Audience and all that, like a chat show, and he was on that, and it's like that's sort of that's almost like auditing hitting you know,
more ears, isn't it? More eyes, more ears.
Yes,
getting
that's right. It's going more mainstream. I mean, when I saw that, it had 150,000 like views, and he came over really well as well, because he's, you know, he's really calm, isn't he? And sort of like,
yeah, no, totally. He's very blunt and to the point, isn't he?
Yeah,
he doesn't mess about.
That's right.
But he's not. I
Right,
don't
so
think he's arrogant. I think he gives out what he gets.
no, I've not seen that of him. When I first saw his couple of videos, I did think, oh, crumbs, here we go. I thought what I was thinking of was UK Meet the Tyrants, because that was the only Scottish audience at the time. But no, they're quite different, you know. But you got Rights Defender, who's very much like, you know, they're more fiery, aren't they? Let's put it that way. But not so much that one. He's good. He supported me because I went to that Amazon and then got my camera smashed. And his next video, he went there and support, and he was mentioning me and everything. You know, mentions me about 10 times on the video. And he goes up to him and he goes like, "What do you think you're doing?" Like sort of acting like that. But the old Bill turned up. Hey,
it's a brotherhood, isn't it? After all,
yeah. You know,
we've all got to stick together.
I'd like to have a chat with him. I'd like to speak to him for sure.
Yeah, but, definitely. He's got something to say.
Look, Random Outings. Yeah, Random Outings. That's right. He's doing videos. Yep. Random Outings. Yeah. Throwing a tantrum is the new normal, it seems. Yep. Who's throwing a tantrum?
Is it PTTP?
Reggie Photo's good.
What's his name?
PTTP's good as well. Hey?
I can't never say that.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You know, the auditor, PTTP.
Yeah, what about it?
It was power to the plurata. I can't even pronounce.
Oh, power to the proletariat. Yeah.
That's it, Protariat. That's it. I can never remember that because he always says it like, "Hi, TTPTP." Video. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is good. He is very good. You know, from the Cambridge area, and he's very, very knowledgeable. And also, I support him on one of mine as well. It's interesting, really, because I have to say, right, that I don't know what the reason is. You know, I don't think it's anything I've done myself personally, but he was after that. I did an audit, right? He did an audit at Job Centre. I went there afterwards and said, like, I happened to be in the area, and said, that's out of order and everything else. And then he came through and he was going, "Yep, quite chatty." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, not so much so. Don't hear so much from him nowadays. And I don't know what the dynamic is and what's happened, or whether or not, because I know he's doing a psychology degree, isn't he?
Yeah, he does sound very versed or educated. He sounds educated, shall we say?
Yeah, he can retain that information, sort of thing. Yeah, he's very good at that. Yeah, he's very good at that.
He's very good at engineering like his sentences when he's actually talking to like some sergeant out the back gate somewhere, and they're just firing stuff. There's no pause or anything. He knows exactly what he's going to be saying next.
Yeah,
they hate that as well.
They do hate that. But and he does. He ties them up in knots, doesn't he? No, sorry, Shadow Band. Chat's not been ignored. Right, let's have a look at what's been said here, because apparently they sent a bomb to the moon, right? And when it detonated, that's right, like the Death Star. No, it's weird, isn't it? How I've missed that, chat, because it was flying by. Look, AI robotic dogs on crowd control. What's that about? What are you talking about?
Not Kingsman.
What? Yeah, actually, no, I do know what he's talking about now. Those dogs. Yes, those AI dogs. Yes, I know what you mean now. And that is quite frightening, yeah. That's true, because I have ants in my pants. That was part of the... so carbon dating is wildly inaccurate. Now, what do you reckon about that? Carbon dating, wildly inaccurate. That's all we got, though, isn't it? That's you know...
I wish I had the intelligence to reply to that. I don't know much about. All I know about carbon dating is like you just tell the age of something by breaking down the carbon cells.
Is it? We're just talking about educated guesses here, aren't we? At the end of the day, using that technique isn't infallible, yeah, but it's all we got, isn't it? It's where the data comes from.
Knowledge is
a quiz,
power.
a quiz of assumptions. Is that the name of a book? Hollow Earth rules, right? I'm not. I mean, that wouldn't be a surprise, would it? If like it's like when like you get the smoke come off a cigarette, right? And sometimes when you look at the shape of the smoke that comes off, the sort of donut, the sort of rolling smoke ring type shape is very popular, right? Not popular. What's the word? Really? I see that. You do see that. If you were to slow it down, you'd know what I'm talking about. Like I call it a tumbler, like a tumbler when it tumbles off the cigarette, and then as it sort of expands, it spins, and then you get that sort of donut shape opportunity appearing, right? Yeah. So Hollow Earth, I think, is entirely feasible. The question is why? Yeah, why have they got this wall thing up or whatever? Like, and you're not allowed to fly over it. And that does concern me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a lot to be concerned about in the world right now, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, well, we've apparently been threatened by Russia again.
Are we?
Apparently.
Yeah, it's been going on for ages, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's
what are they going to do?
I don't know. That nobody does know at the moment. I don't think they're all clueless.
Did you hear about that thing that time when the Russian geezer got the order to press the button to fire the nuclear missiles at America, and he broke the order. He said, like, no, I'm not doing that, and it turned out to be a mistake. Have you heard about that story?
No, I didn't. No.
Right, and he's a hero. He's one of Russia's heroes, right? Because it was honestly, it's absolutely true. Yeah, he was given the order, was passed down. It was given clearance. Press the button, launch the missiles, and the bloke who had to do the final press of the button went, hang on a minute, I'm not doing that. And instead, he could have got court-martialed, but instead he could have been shot for that. He could have been shot for disobeying. I mean, isn't that amazing? Because the one person you're going to want to rely on to obey an order in that situation is that person. So the likelihood that you're going to get someone to disobey an order under those circumstances is frightening, isn't it? Right, isn't it though? So so we have just hit an hour. Let's have a look at the chat now. What's happening? Oh, sizing us up. What's this? Look, they tested 2 parts of the same fossil. Paul Redbridge, hello. Evening, Paul from Paul. Oh, sorry about that. Paul Woodbridge. There's a pink hand waving Paul Essex there. Steph is sizing us up. Yeah. War games. How about a game of chess? Yeah. Why don't you decide it over a game of chess? Yeah, that would be. I'd watch that. I'd watch that game if it was actually for territory. Like a bit like poker 100. Instead of that, just Eastern Europe 100. And right, what this game for Chechnya? All right, Nukers. That's why we were having the phone alert at 3 p.m. on Sunday. What? Did you see this from Michael May? These controversial comments from Michael May. Look, Nukers, that's why we were having the phone alert. Did you have a phone alert at 3 p.m. on Sunday? Because I think I did.
No.
Oh. Let's stop that little theory. Oh. Yeah. You're supposed to say yes, and then we can worry everyone, and then they'll start watching us more. That's how the BBC do it. I've been trained by the BBC. Right, what you do is you just get them really terrified, and they'll watch more. So, right, should we do that again? Right, ready? I think I did.
Oh, that was so annoying. That thing. It interfered watching Songs of Praise.
Yeah, honestly, the alert came up. It went beep, 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 beep. You're going to die. And I immediately updated my phone. Is that what
Yeah.
that was about, Michael? I mean, mystical. Hello, what have you missed? Oh, goodness knows. Honestly, facts like Irish bars should be closed on St. Patrick's Day. Right, they should be closed because it falls within the month of Lent when they're supposed to be giving us stuff up. So isn't that ironic?
Don't you think?
This is one for if you were listening the other day. Pregnancy tests. When do you think pregnancy tests were invented? In what year?
1935.
That's what I would have said. I was actually further away than you because I said 1963. Right. I can tell you now that it's before the time of Jesus. Right. Now listen to this. This is a brilliant fact. This one. It's 1350 BCE. So before Jesus. Right. So what we're talking 3,000 years up. Right. Now what they used to do, right, with this test is they used to take barley, right, and wheat, and get the woman to wee on the barley and the wheat, right? Now, if those grains grew well, right, if the barley grew well, it would be the woman or girl, and if the wheat grew well, then it would be the boy, right? And it would be a boy. And if it didn't neither grow well, no baby at all, right? And then in 1963, right, they did an experiment to test this pregnancy, and it was 70% accurate.
No.
Amazing, isn't it? Amazing.
How?
70,
How do you come around
70%.
doing that? How many different things how many different types of food do you piss on before you know that proving someone that's pregnant? That's bizarre.
There you go. That's good, isn't it? That's good, isn't it? That's what you've missed. That's what you might have missed, mystical.
Yeah.
Facts like that. And also that 3 men went to the moon 1969, started playing golf. They broke their buggy and then taped it up with sellotape. Well, with duct tape. It's true. It's what
These
happened.
are free facts as well. These are all free.
Yeah, all three. Well, no, one of them went all that way and didn't even, come out and do a bit of tourist. Didn't even go to the tourist shop. Collins, wasn't it? What's his name? Michael Collins, wasn't it? The third one.
I thought that was the guy who wrote the dictionary.
No, that was oh, crumbs, forgotten. Samuel Johnson. Samuel Johnson wrote the dictionary. Yeah, I'm intelligent, aren't I? Well, not actually. I just remember. You know how I remembered that from Blackadder.
Baldrick, run into my fist.
Yeah. Well, Robbie Coltrane famously played. He played Samuel Johnson in the Blackadder adaptation of the story.
Brilliant.
Baldrick burnt the dictionary. Baldrick burnt it. Yeah.
I grew up. That's what I grew up watching.
Yeah, it's good, that, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really good.
The comic
It was
strip.
really good. Yeah, the comic strip. My goodness. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that too.
Lenny Henry and Dawn French and everything, didn't it?
Okay, so when do you think that this is actually down to a specific day? But when do you think blue jeans were first introduced or invented? Is that the word? I'm not sure if you invented
military.
Hey?
This was to do with military, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I just got a date. It was last Tuesday. 5 Go Mad in Devon. Yeah, I remember that. Blah blah blah. Remember that? Do you remember that? The treasure. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I can remember watching that as a kid. So, what else we got? The average 4-year-old. How many questions would the average 4-year-old be expected to ask in one day?
Over 300.
That's a good guess. It says the answer is 400. That's a good guess.
I'm a parent. Well, kind of at the moment, but yes, I am.
Right. Okay. How many islands do you think? Now, this is amazing, really. How many islands do you think make up the Philippines?
This is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
These facts have been picked out for their shocking. Anyone in the chat? How many islands make up the entire Philippines? How many islands does it consist of? No Googling. Stop that. You get Googlers out there. Oh, somebody's come up with a 10 with 30,000 shadow band. I tell you what, I mean, at least somebody said everybody keeps underestimating. 30,000 is not 30,000. It's not that many. That would be something, wouldn't it? But I mean, there you go. That's sort of like the speed of light. 1,029 is the closest so far, without going over. Mystical says a lot, and I would say that is a lot. So anyone else want to have a stab in the dark at that? If you don't, if you don't know, right? So your shadow band there said 30,000. That's the sort of answers I'd like to hear. Somebody might say, "Oh, 3." In fact, I could have thrown that in as a trick question, couldn't I? I wonder if the Mandela effect could have taken place. I could have, what's the word? Affected your mind, your decision making. Yeah, you've got 40,000 there from Mystical. Did I tell you how long the circulatory system was? Did I give you the answer to that?
What, for the veins?
Yeah, it's the circulatory system. That's all I've got. How long is the circulatory system in the average body?
Stretch around the world.
Yep, it is around the world. Yep.
43,000.
We've got 43,000 from Mystical, and I can tell you now, it is more than 43,000 miles long. Miles long.
Crazy.
It's according to right. We had all these yesterday, Shadow Band, so you should be able to tell me that according to the Reader's Digest, it's 60,000 miles long. Your circulatory system. Yeah, so that's basically all your veins. Yeah, isn't it? Isn't that amazing? Isn't it? So that good. So that's what we came for. So we're going to call it an evening now. So thank you very much for popping in, people. It's been a pleasure. We will please keep watching. There'll be something coming up soon, no doubt. I haven't done it yet. But it's coming. It'll be coming soon. So thank you. Bless you.
From Radio Norwich coming over to your channel pretty soon.
Yeah, thank you. Just to say thank you to Alan Partridge for popping in. Alan, please, it'd be time to go down to the service station. For your, what are you going to be buying tonight?
Well, that's ironic, seeing as I won't be buying anything. I won't be given anything. It's out of date food that gets taken out in about 12 minutes' time. He'll be putting them on the free station.
Well, so I mean, we might just do a little bit more with Alan. Now, we would like to get the words of Chairman Mao, as it were, Chairman Alan. How many times have you been to Blackpool?
It comes down to what times do I remember going to Blackpool. We had a time when me and Lynn ate way too many Toblerones, ended up in a taxi, and the tequila and the Toblerone was flowing in equal effect.
and I'm sure that there is something kind of almost homoerotic about Lynn, isn't there?
Well, she's straight, so I don't know. The homo bit was a bit harsh. You know, she might look a bit manly, but I've addressed her a little bit different now. Pushed her towards the more feminine side.
Yeah, where does she dress?
Hopefully somewhere dark.
Yeah, of course. I see what you've done there.
Window. You know,
I see what you've done there.
Around there. Someone could crash.
Yeah, has she had many partners in her time? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be so. Do you know where she? Do you know where she buys her blouses from?
I don't know, but she needs to change it because you can tell by the way she walks they don't fit too well.
Right. Okay. Now I was wondering that the Applegate Women's Institute were looking for a DJ to do their Sunday Green
I'd be
gig.
delighted.
Would you? Yeah. Are you still up for gigs like that? Is that?
Yes, I do things like that. No, remember, it's not for the money; it's for the fame.
It always fascinates me about those people because they're so fake, and yet they're there for purposes I don't understand. Sometimes it freaks me out. Alan Partridge, ladies and gentlemen. So isn't that good? That what a privilege to have him here. Do we have any questions from the room? Sorry, in the chat. Any questions for Alan? Because we're getting near the time. So, are there any questions? I'm sure. Whereabouts are you going on holiday this year, Alan?
We're actually getting out the country this year. We're going to Jersey.
Oh, that's exotic.
It is. It's the only British Isle I don't have a warrant out for my arrest.
Okay. Now, do you keep any pets of any type?
I sometimes feed my neighbour's cat.
Okay. What sort of hobbies do you list amongst your most pleasurable? Sorry.
I have the biggest collection of classical music, and I have 12 copies of Black Beauty.
Oh, of course. I forgot about the Black Beauty. Were you a big fan of Bob Monkhouse?
Bob Monkhouse, a big fan. I met him on 2 occasions. We didn't actually get to talk. He was apparently priorly engaged with Dennis Waterman, but no, we won't talk anymore about that. Dennis Waterman was a rival of mine at the time.
God bless his soul.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Oh, okay, we'll rest it or bless it. He can do what he likes now. He can now do what with Dennis's soul what he likes.
Now you know what he can do. He can write the hymns and he can sing the hymns.
Exactly. I was going to ask that question. Would he be singing the theme tune to his own entry into?
He did his own allergy.
Yes, entry after St. Peter's permission. There's something homoerotic going on, but where's all the women?
That show business for you.
Is there a woman's heaven and a man's heaven? I think that's what a woman's heaven would be, just with no men.
Cross between Kevin Spacey and Helena Bonham Carter.
That would sort of like be the God and the devil. And you wouldn't know which is which.
My battery's about to die on me as well.
Oh no! So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to lose Alan. I don't think electricity has reached as far as Enfield or whereabouts do you live now?
Well, I'm sat in my Rover 200 at the moment in my travel tavern car park.
Oh, of course, near the M4 service station.
It is actually the M4 service station. Yes,
perfect. I'm with you. We're down with the kids. Me and you.
We're not too down. We're not too down with the kids, though.
I sometimes wonder whether Steve Coogan actually followed me around before he made some of these characters.
But I can assure you, you're not.
There we go. No, well, there we go. That's the end now. That's the end now, Alan. Get back in your box. Get back in your box. Yeah,
looking at me out the window.
It's time now. It's time now for your hot milk and blanket moment.
Yeah, it's like what do you call it? The night garden.
It's time for Tabby night. Right. So and thank you, Orvyll, for popping in.
He just waved. He just went out the window.
He just went out the window. He's back in the van. He's back in the van. Yeah. So there you go. He'll be back in the van to fight another day. So thank you everyone for popping in. Thank you to Alan. Thank you to Orvyll. Thank you to Ben as well, who popped in. He hasn't said much tonight, but thank you very much to Ben Barrett. That's brilliant. So so take care and stay safe out there, guys. Keep going, keep watching. And from EA Audits, it's peace. Thanks for popping in.
Cheers, bro.